time to get off that darkest ground. But gravity pulls you straight down.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the stream. Except today we're going to be doing something a little bit different than our usual gameplay. Today we're going to be recognizing the regular season stat awards. This is just, obviously an accumulation of all the statistics gathered by Kotala via his bot, just to show who statistically stood out as some of the greatest in the league this season.
So it was a very long season, and we have a little bit of stat awards today. We'll talk about the stats specifically, and then we'll have a second award stream, hopefully, if we can get it set up, of all the fan voting and possible playoff MVPs as well.
So to start off, we're just going to recognize the season as a whole. So this is the... Oh yeah, my bad, Cone. So first, we're going to check out the total season statistics. So here, this is every team being, added, showing the accumulation of all teams, all players, into one seasonal stat. So we had a total of 3,000, almost 4,000 games played between every single team. Average score of 366.2. Pretty fire. Let's see, what else stands out to you on this graphic, Kotala?
Gotta be the score, because that's like an insane amount of score. 1.4 million total points scored by all players. I also think that the shots hitting 5 digits is very impressive. Just barely hitting 5 digits.
That is pretty good. I think another big thing that I'm noticing is that demos was a high part of a lot of offenses this season, with an average of one demo per game, but more demos than goals and assists. Very and then saves obviously being insanely high with almost 3 saves per game. Pretty insane.
Yeah, that's true. And then shots, shots being, the shots are almost 3 saves or 3 shots per game, and saves at 1.5. It's pretty good. So overall, very stat-filled season, and we really thank everyone for giving it their all throughout the season and participating and accumulating and adding to the stats. Had a lot of exciting games and a lot of interesting games to watch for sure. Didn't really ever feel like a series I watched on stream was boring or kind of knew the results. I always was excited to watch and see which team would come out on top.
All right. So now we're going to transition into the awards. It's award time, fellas. So to start off, we're going to start with one of the higher statistics, and we're going to be recognizing the Exterminator. And this player averaged 2.16 demos per game, beating everyone else out. I'm not sure who the second place was. Could you give us some insight into that, Kotala?
The second place, the runner-up for this award, was actually Wannabe Nerd. But this player specifically kind of surprised me, because normally I guess I would expect Beam Boy or Pixel Skills to be on top of this list, but they were not. So I think it actually contributed to this player's this team's result probably a lot, because of the way their team dynamic is situated, that the demos really cleared the space for his teammates to play.
Well, let's give a big congratulations to our Exterminator of the Year, Kappa! Yeah! Woo! Good job, Kappa. But as we can see, statistics with a player rating of 1.3, insanely high. Good job, man. 1.3 with 2.16 demos per game. Yeah, Bava. See, Bava can only score when Kappa demos, so that's why.
It's got to clear. That's what I was saying. It's got to clear the space for Bava to take his 4 shots a game. So
So now for the next award, we're going to be looking at our Deadeye with a shot percentage of 38%, meaning, a third of the time, almost a little over a third of the time, he's scoring that, which, super impressive. Averaging a goal per game as well as a save per game. Uh, and
Yeah, I mean this player, the shot percentage is great for the length of the season that was played. I
true.
think I expected a max shot percentage probably around the 30% mark, and this exceeded my expectations,
Mm-hmm.
especially with 1.12 goals per game. This player will definitely had great shooting percentage. Didn't take a ton of shots per game, but you don't need to take as many shots per game if you're burying them in every single time. So,
Mm-hmm.
or most of the time.
All right, so we'd like to give a big congratulations to this season's Deadeye, Krim. Woo! Woo! Good job, Krim. 40% shooting, that's pretty damn high. That's like the NBA 3-point percentage for like an average shooter. So, bro's a shooter. Bro's a Deadeye. So, congratulations to Krim. And obviously did he make playoffs? Yes.
They did, yes. So yeah, because the one who won the Exterminator, they're seed number 12 in the Swiss, and this was seed number 5 in the Swiss. So actually, they're playing each other.
Ooh, interesting. Very interesting to see how those dynamics play against each other. But now we're going to be going into our shooter. So this is the player who was averaging the most shots towards the net, but not necessarily sinking them every single time. But he was laying the offensive pressure down, which is obviously just as important as adds a lot of pressure to the defense, creates a lot of mishaps for the defensive side, and allows the other, his teammates to thrive a little bit because he's able to take off that offensive load and really put hammer to nail for the most part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, this player has a very high player rating compared to the rest of the league. So the shots definitely being a very, very important fact to his play style and the success that his team has. I think especially the offensive pressure. If you're gonna win this award, you're definitely one of the players who you know creates offensive pressure for your team.
Mm-hmm.
And offensive pressure is very important to win matches, especially against if you have like a suffocating offensive play style. So
Yeah, and not only is he a shooter on the field, he's a shooter in the Discord, taking shots at everybody. Let's give a big congratulations to Patrick. Yeah, good job, Patrick. Averaging an insane 4 shots per game throughout this season. That's a lot of shots. That's a lot of shots throughout the season. But still averaging, a goal per game. Solid. It's 25% in terms of statistics, I believe. A little over
yeah,
25%.
about a little over 25% shooting percentage on those 4 shots, but you know, if you're taking that many shots, one of them is bound to go in eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
So
All right. And so this next award, we weren't sure what to call it, so we called it the Backpack Award, and this goes to the player with the highest score per game average throughout the season. And this player averaged a whopping 504.7 points per game, as well as being top of the leaderboard in a few other statistical categories. Obviously, this player is just very well rounded to one average that high of a score per game, or stat farmer. Either way, I respect the grind. 504 points per game for this long of a season is pretty insane.
yeah, the points per game are incredibly impressive with how many games in across how many series were played in this season's format. It definitely means that this player was basically backpacking. It's putting up this much score is insane, and of course a lot of others are good stats to go with it. So this player is going to be DJ. Woo!
Yeah, shout out to DJ. Obviously, you guys can see here, number 1 in score per game, second overall in saves per game, and third in the player rating, which is our MVP statistic. So congratulations to DJ for sure for just absolutely stuffing the stat sheet this season. Getting a great score per game, and we hope to see him next season for sure. All right, and the next award is for all of our goalkeepers in the summer league in the six mans. So we have the Savior, and this player averaged 3.32, and I think he joined late in the season. Is that correct? Like halfway through.
That is very correct, and I'm sure a lot of people in the chat kind of know who this player is specifically because he's the only player to get 3 saves per game, over 3 saves per game. Especially if our former person DJ was at 2.51. This is an insane jump.
Mm-hmm.
Very goalkeeper-esque. You don't know how many of those were farming saves or were not farming saves, but that's the stats. I'm not watching the games. I'm just pulling the stats. So
yeah, so big shout out to this player for averaging such an insane amount. We won't talk about his other stats all that much, but congratulations to Zolfi for being our savior of the season with 3.32 saves per game. And it's tough coming in halfway through the season and being put into a situation, playing with new players, new play styles halfway through. Definitely, you have to kind of sit back and watch how they play, and then at that point you might as well farm some points too, get some saves, help your team out as much as you can on the defensive side, and hope for a good transition into the offensive play. So congratulations to Zolfi for our savior of the year. All right, and so next award is gonna be our playmaker of the year, who averaged almost an assist per game. It's very close to 0.95 assists per game. Definitely, I think deserved. He definitely spread the love to his teammates. Opened up the passing lanes a lot with his mechanical playing, and pretty solid. Pretty solid. Do you have any insight into this player?
yeah. So when I played this team, they were one of the opponents that I feel kind of. I guess this award is very well represented specifically to this player because of the way their team played when we faced them in the regular season. Their team was very, very keen on passing and opening up lanes to shoot, and it was very, very difficult to, you know, read it because it wasn't always a clear cut read on where the ball was going. And this player orchestrated a lot of that disruption, a lot of that infield passing, and that player is going to be Thankful.
Woo, 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 woo. Good job, Thankful. My fellow caster who just casted the last match. Congratulations. Obviously, he's very adamant about keeping his team in the play all around and, providing for his team, allowing his team to shine in every way possible. So congratulations, definitely well deserved. And, we hope to see him next season averaging more assists, more passing plays to the midfield. And now we're going to be going to our Golden Boot, our Egoist trophy here for the player who averaged the best goals per game throughout the season. And this player, although he is new, definitely stood out amongst the crowd for a lot of people. A lot of people definitely had their doubts as to the positioning of this player initially, but then soon, very, very quickly realized that he's there for a reason. And to go along with the goals, he's shooting almost 4 shots a game. So keeping it at like 33% shooting, obviously insanely high. So Well, I'll pass it over. Yeah, pass it over to Kotala to give a little bit more in-depth analysis.
In-depth analysis for sure. This player actually wasn't in the lead for Golden Boot for 6 weeks straight, and then took it at the very end. But with dominant performances to secure the spot. So, and 33% shooting with this statistic is really good to win the award on goals and have a 30% shooting percentage in a league that's very long means that you were definitely a force to be reckoned with when out on the field.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was highly contributive to this team's result. I think that the orchestrating of scoring all the goals was very influential, and this player is Bob.
Woo!
Woo!
All right, Arch. So to give you a quick rundown, we had, I don't even remember. We had Kappa for our exterminator averaging 2.16. This is just a quick review for anyone that missed it. For Deadeye, shooting 38% from the field total is going to be Krim. For our shooter, who averaged the most shots per game, is going to be Patrick with a whopping 4 shots per game. And then for our backpack award, that's the player who averaged the best score per game, is going to be DJ with a whopping 504.7 point game average. Our savior award went to Zolfi, who's averaging 3.32 saves per game. And our playmaker, which was our most recent reveal prior to Bob, was Thankful for a solid 0.95 assists per game. And so now we're on Bob, who is our golden boot, who averaged the highest goals per game with 1.22 goals per game. Absolutely insane, especially with his save count as well and his shooting percentage. Overall, very solid play from Bob. And so now we're getting into our final award, the one you guys have all been waiting for, the MVP. And this is the category where the person with the highest player rating, which is based off of a formula, which I think Kotala made or he took from somewhere.
I made the formula. I can share it. I didn't didn't make a graphic for it, but essentially the formula takes your key stats over the course of the season, your goals, assists, and saves, plus your shots divided by 10, because those tend to be a little bit inflated compared to the rest of your stats. Divides that all by your games times 4, and then add your score per game divided by 1,000.
So you can see a lot of these higher division captain players are all averaging like 1.4, 1.5. But our MVP takes the cake with 1.6 on the dot and was top of the leaderboard in one other category in saves with 2.31, averaging a goal a game on 3 shots, so shooting 33% like many of these players. It's going to be a person we all know and actually watched earlier this stream, and it's going to be Gio. For the second time in 3 years, Gio is going to be your MVP with the highest player rating. So congratulations to Gio for being our MVP. Obviously, we wish you guys the best of luck in lowers. It is what it is. Happens to the best of us. Happens literally to the best of us. But yeah, that is going to wrap up our awards. So once again, congratulations to all of our players, and congratulations to everyone who played in the Summer League. We hope to see you guys again. So we're just have the stats showing before we head out. But thank you guys for joining us for the award ceremony. If you want to review the VOD, send the clips to the players. Tell them to go watch the VOD, one or the other. Cone, because that's not a stat we track. That's on you.
Ball chasing doesn't track that, unfortunately.
Unfortunate. We probably could have like most boost management or worst boost management.
Yeah.
So most improved is a player-based voting, and that will occur after or during playoffs. This was strictly based on the statistical analysis of the regular season cone. So yeah, that's why there's no most improved in this stream. It will be in the next award stream.
We'll make sure to get the player voting awards in. I'll leave it off at the end that if players haven't been reading the announcements, like I kind of expect most of the people don't, all of those winners of those stat categories, except for the MVP, just got $5, and the MVP just got $20. So congrats to all those players once again for earning a little bit of cash back, especially with their performance really stepping up for their teams and making a difference. So,
Yeah. That's all for us today, guys. But yeah, thank you again for coming out, watching the first game of playoff Swiss format, and celebrating these amazing players who gave it their all this season. And we'll see you guys for the last few games of Swiss. So, later.
yeah, later.